Hi, my name is Amy. Thanks so much for viewing my Prezi presentation where I shared some of my educational information and some personal information about what I like to do when I'm not teaching or in school. And now, finally, I'll address part 3 of this introduction assignment where we consider our course topic, community partnerships. I've prepared something to read in an effort to be concise and clear. So, I will begin. As I look back over my own education and school experience, I notice many similarities to my current experience as a teacher and parent of children attending public schools. That is to say that the schools and educators I have experience with seem to expect parents or guardians to take the initiative to become involved with their students' education, rather than creating a climate in which it feels natural to do so. At times, teachers I work with, either during student teaching or when I substitute teach, complain about the way in which parents are involved. Their interaction with parents seems to be in the form of emails only. From my perspective, any involvement from parents is better than no involvement at all, even if it's in the form of what may feel like criticism of you or excuses of their child's struggle or level of effort. I say that any involvement is better than no involvement because we know that student achievement is greater when families are involved. As stated in Improving Student Outcomes with School, Family, and Community Partnerships, a research review, Sheldon writes, evidence of the powerful effect family life and environment have on academic success has existed for many decades. I believe it's up to educators and schools to create a partnership with parents so parents feel validated, comfortable, and encouraged to be involved. I don't want to make parents feel like they have to advocate for their child because their teacher does not. Parents and teachers should not feel at odds with one another. I noticed during IEP meetings that the school psychologists, teachers, and sometimes administration will use professional discourse, acronyms, and language that many parents and guardians may not be familiar with. How can we expect them to comfortably engage in the conversation about their child if we as professionals are making it impossible for them to fully understand what we're talking about so that they can participate? Epstein's article, Meeting NCLB Requirements for Family Involvement, and Dr. Pedro Noguera both emphasize that part of the No Child Left Behind Act is to help parents understand state standards and assessment and provide materials to help parents assist their child's achievement at home. Part of this process must include creating a welcoming school environment for the parents as well as the students, creating culturally inclusive schools. This would include being aware of different ethnicities, language, culture, and socioeconomic diversity. All children and families of all backgrounds made to feel comfortable and connected to schools with not only the responsibility of being involved, but also the desire to be involved and the opportunity. Dr. Noguera's lecture reminded me of the phenomenon known as deficit thinking. Hoping to explain the failure of high-stake tests, teachers will sometimes blame the students for their struggles on unwillingness or inability based on language or life circumstance. Educators should never limit a student's success by predetermining their ability. In education, we have chronically made the mistake of continuing the cycle of giving students who have the most the best education and students who have the least the poorest education. In this way, we are a caste society. Where you were born and what your family has or doesn't have dictates your opportunity, at least in education, which ultimately does translate into future opportunities for further education or employment. As Dr. Noguera emphasized, we don't want a caste society. America stands on the premise that hard work and effort equals success, not birthright. Community resources, including funding, businesses for schools to partner with, parent involvement, and language barriers are greater obstacles in low-income areas than high-income areas and continues the cycle. And how can we stop this? I agree with Dr. Noguera, education reform is necessary, but our ideas are not thought through before they are implemented. We seem to allow failure to continue knowingly and willingly. How can every school be like PS 28? I quote him, "The problem is not the kids. The problem is the way we treat the kids." How do we train educators and implement programs in schools where students are trusted and respected, and in turn they trust and respect the school? It sounds like a dream world of sorts. Regardless of whether it's a dream, it should be what every educator continuously aspires to. Each of us can devote personal time and energy in developing our practice. It won't happen overnight, and we need to be okay with the journey as a work in progress, period by period, day by day, week by week, and school year by school year. School years are located in communities where neighborhoods, businesses, and other communities are located. It may take additional time or funding to reach out to those groups to create relationships. Building resources for students and families benefits us as a whole. Many families may not know what's available to them. Partnering with health educators, social and emotional learning programs, drug and alcohol education, pregnancy prevention, gang and violence prevention, and work programs would all benefit the school and community as a whole. The goal of education, as I see it, is to help students meet their own future needs, as well as the future need of our community. Creating connection between school and community serves to do that. Students will also become aware of future job and career ideas in the process, and perhaps develop long-term obtainable goals. Collaborating for student success isn't a new idea. It just hasn't been mapped out for us. It will take human and material resources, which always includes more funding. Most of what resonated with me is parent involvement because, as a parent, that's primarily what I do with my children. However, I did mention programs that can partner with schools and support students' development. Schools do much more than just educate. Schools impact academic growth, but they also have great impact on the social and emotional development of students who will ultimately participate and contribute to our society. Those who advocate for school-community partnerships subscribe to the important idea that when schools and community function together, students develop and learn more effectively. Treating students as whole beings and supporting more than just academic growth is essential for student success. Thanks so much, and I look forward to your responses.